All right, guys, I just hit record. Y'all are unusually excitable today. It's hurting my ears, so chill out. Yes, Kylie? What? Okay, guys, stop talking. Really annoying start this morning. But okay, welcome back. This is the second to last day of Latin. Maybe that's why I seem extra ready to go. Because I will change this for tomorrow, Internet Kids. But what you see on Thursday and Friday, everyone, that's going to be Monday and Tuesday. I did confirm that you're going to come in here on Thursday and Friday to take that reading test. And unfortunately, we'll not have Latin. Guys, I know it's really upsetting, but we'll make it through. And then next week, we have a 4-day week. So this weird thing is happening essentially where, at least for Latin and a lot of your classes, math too, you're not going to have a full week until the last week of January. Because last week was 4. This week is like 5, but then the tests are happening on a lot of days. And then next week we have Martin Luther King Day on Monday, which is amazing. And so yeah, we'll come back on Tuesday. So yeah, what you see on for Thursday will be Tuesday, and then Wednesday we'll finally finish chapter 10, unless I figure out a way to do it on Tuesday. I might give you like time to study, and then just do this on Tuesday so we can like get out of chapter 10 because we've been in it forever. And then we'll start 11. It'll be amazing, and it'll be a short week next week. So, any questions? The homework was brought to your essay yesterday. If you didn't get it, that's fine because it's over on the white table to the back left. You're doing number 1 through 5 for tomorrow. It is your second grade of the quarter after last week's homework. And then next week, I'll check the word log, on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll like kind of poll people. If it seems like I'll need more time to get more words, then I'll check it on Wednesday. And eventually, then maybe we'll just reset and wait till February, the first week of February. No, I'm lying, but the last week of January to do the second sheet. Because like I just want to get back to like a normal pattern. But we're getting there. Macy?
I have 2 questions. Do we have to fill out all the slots?
All the slots. No. So, like I said, roughly 4 to 5 in each category. And again, this almost sounds like mean or something to students who aren't getting like really great grades on the vocab quizzes. But yeah, like if you always have gotten good grades on the vocab quizzes, something like 3 or even like 2 might be acceptable. But it really depends on what I know your vocab averages to be, or I could always check them. Because like, it's going to help people who struggle with vocab more than it helps people who like kind of figured out some weird trick to do well at vocab. Who knows how that works? Some people are born being able to like memorize Latin vocabulary better than others. It doesn't mean anything about you. Or yeah, right. Because like you kind of hopefully eventually figure out how by thinking of like related English words to help you and kind of have a network of associations. But that is something you develop over time. But anyway, yes. Does that clear that up, Macy and then Laura?
My sister's SL class did not take.
They did. I definitely went in there. I know I did because I just like that class so much. I always know when I'm like around them. But she must have stepped out or something. So I'll make sure she gets it today. But thank you for telling me. Yeah, I guess. For what? What? Oh, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, guys, come prepared, please. Any other questions before we get into the translation? Guys, I already have some sweet ideas for our Myth Monday, Reception Monday next week. It'll happen on a Tuesday, but that's fine. But I'm going to hold off on it. I was like, should I talk about this anime and video game and Myth this morning? I was like, no, like that should be the first day of the week thing. I think that actually works. I kind of like that for the rest of the semester. Okay, so where were we talking about chapter 10? Did we get this far? We had, what is this again? So this is Aurora, right? That's a picture of Aurora, so I don't necessarily need to click back. But we had Aurora. She's in love with this guy who is, what's the problem? He's a what? Yeah, he's just a normal dude, and she's a privileged goddess. And so she wants to make him not be immortal, or a mortal. So she's going to go to Zeus, apparently, and she addresses him as, "Oh, king of the gods." She says, did we do Audi May? Okay, so I guess we did that. So like hear me / kind of like listen to me. Then we do the next line. I just have to like remember where we were.
My
If I didn't teach 6 classes, I would probably actually mark where we got.
Tithonus is not God.
So right now, Nathan, Danny, Soraya, and potentially Maddie Fisher are distracting all of us. It's kind of a bummer. So, oh, King of the Gods, she says, "Hear me." Let's
My
see.
Tithonus is not God.
Well, I just need to know: do we do that person, or are we doing? Are you just spot translating right now?
I have it.
Okay. So, Carson already did this one because it's such an easy sentence. But Meus Tithonus non est Deus, Maddie Dugan. What do you think the subject is? What do you think? You got to guess. No, it's very early to suddenly be asked a grammar question about a dead language that has not been spoken for nearly 1,500 years. But you must answer me. Is it Meus Tithonus non est Deus? Guys, we get it. This is basically like Thursday. Or like for Latin, it's Thursday, right? Thursday and Friday, they're going to be like boring, but it'll be, it's like you don't have to tell me what the subject of the sentence is. Kayla, what do you think the subject is? Yeah, I like Tithonus, right? It's his name. What's going with Tithonus still, Sam or Caitlin? Is it just like Tithonus, blah, blah, blah? Or yeah, so what does Meus mean again? James? Good. So, it's okay. So my Tithonus, right? This is like her like boyfriend, I guess. So she's calling him like my Tithonus, which is cool, I guess. So, what part of speech is Meus, Mea, Meum? When you write that out, sorry, internet kids, but you can always use your dictionary to find the dictionary entry. For instance, it would be okay to write just Meus means my on the right part of the sheet. But I prefer if you actually write the dictionary entry. And since I'm writing it this way, it must be what, anyone? Anyone at all? Not that you're close, kind of, but it's like my. What do you think my is? It's not a noun. It relates to a noun. Tithonus is like a proper noun. Yeah, it's an adjective. So you put it in the top section, because adjectives, we always do that with them in the dictionary entry, whereas nouns have like the nominative and the genitive ending given. Adjectives, they show you the masculine, feminine, and neuter ending. That's why you just do the us, Meus, is sometimes I say that. That's kind of awkward sounding. It means my, and it's an adjective. And related words, this one doesn't really have. I mean, me and my look kind of like it. I don't know if they're technically related, but like sort of are, I guess. So that is an adjective. So my Tithonus non est Deus. Maybe we know Deus. It was a deity and deify and yes. So Kaden, do you have a question or you want to translate the rest? So, good question. All adjectives are both first and second as of now. So only with nouns do you have to like do the mental exercise of like, wait, is the genitive AE first declension, long I second declension, or IS third? Adjectives are all flexible. Because look, like in its masculine ending, it's going to be second declension. But if it needs to be feminine, it'll have first declension ending. And if it needs to be neuter, it'll be second declension neuter. You guys won't get third declension adjectives until chapter 16. They're quite easy, and there are no fourth and fifth declension adjectives. What, Kaden?
So, I've been listening through my papers.
Your like word log thing?
Yes.
Oh, this thing? There's probably more on the desk. Check the desk. It's not the end of the world. If you don't have it, you can still write down words as we go, Kaden, right? Or like take notes. Okay, so my Tithonus non est Deus. Anyone except Carson because he's known this the whole time? Caitlin? Yeah. Fisher.
Well, she should be smiling with you.
Yeah, don't do that. Oh, Lord, you're going to get moved in a second. That's gross. I think it's my.
So mine, no.
Yes. And so it's. Okay, well, no one's telling me where we are. I asked that like 5 times, all just stared at me. But Caitlin, it's kind of funny you asked me what Meus means, so we just spent like 3 minutes talking about it. So, okay, but thank you for translating. My Tithonus is not a god. Post Palcos Anos, real quick, somebody. Aiden, Soraya, or Ava. Huh? Glad Soraya gets the humor of my inept frustration with the start of this class. Danny? Good, Natalie. What case is it's after a few years? I guess we don't know. We just got honest, I think, and it means here. Oh yeah, okay. Now I think I remember we were exactly here. I think I asked you guys a related word to that, and then the bell rang. But Natalie, real quick, what case are Palcos and Anas? Good, because post takes an accusative. All right. There's no harm in taking a few step backs from where we were last class. So okay, after a few years, because post, propter, and in sometimes now, meaning like into, and add meaning to, take accusative. So after a few years, and then yeah, what are some related words to honest? Help us remember it means ear. Think of words in English that start with that A, in, and have something to do with like the calendar, kind of. Let's see, Kaylin, then Carson.
Annual.
Yeah, good. Annual. Is that what you're gonna say, Carson?
Annually.
Yeah, annually. What else? What else? There's like if your parents are celebrating a special day, they go to Jared's and get a jewelry anniversary.
Oh, that was
Okay. After a few years, and then I don't know what to do with this. Is a new vocab word, so I'll just say right now, and I have it down here. By the way, guys, I'm gonna start making the speech bubble a light blue because I realize this is not hyper legible. The words kind of like blur into the blue. So if I make it light blue, it's much more legible. I'll start doing that in the future. But so this is like something about what? Add old age. This is old age. Devin? Good. And we did that too, maybe? Or is Devin just a genius? Good. So did you know what tense? Obviously, you know what tense this verb is, Devin?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Y'all need to, since I can't remember, y'all have to remember. I teach 6 classes a day, so unless I write it down, it's like no way. I guess I could maybe somewhere on a board. It could be like, we first period ended on this word. But yeah, this E, right? This is the chapter right here. The fact that there's the E makes it future. That literally is the big grammar lesson you're getting this chapter, is that if it is one of these newer third or fourth conjugation verbs, the E in the ending is going to mean future tense, right, Caitlin? So we still will get plenty of brand new first and second conjugation verbs. So those bo, bis, bit, finis, bitis, bunt, cake endings aren't going to go away for better or for worse. But these third and fourth ones have what I'm calling less distinct endings. This one is distinct, but I still hate it. It's probably the most distinct one, but I really don't like it. Whereas these, I just feel like it's so easy to look at these and think that they're just present tense. It helps a little bit fourth and what they call in this chapter third IO verbs, which we don't really need to worry about distinguishing too much. They're going to get this I with E. So that actually does stand out to me a little bit. But third conjugation that aren't IO, like what's a good one? Ago, agora, they're just going to have the E, not the I. So maybe those are actually the worst ones to kind of recognize. All right. We definitely didn't do this one. And you guys can't even, yeah. I'm excited to finish up that math test today.
No.
It's weird because y'all have tomorrow blocked out for math 2. But do not rush, guys, just because you want Wednesday to be a normal math day. That's all it would be. If you rush today, maybe best case scenario, Wednesday would just be you take a normal math class. But don't do that. Just take your time. And tomorrow's blocked out for that as well. I mean, Thursday and Friday. Huh? I'm pretty sure almost everyone should be able to finish it on Wednesday. And if you don't, I think you just you might get pulled out of class in the following days or weeks to finish it up real quick. But y'all are being annoying over near the door. There's all sorts of little. Laura, you need to chill. Remember, guys, being chill and calm is a value. No one really likes when someone's kind of hyperactive. That sounds mean. Some people can't help it, but there's times for that. But before it's even 8 a.m. in the morning, not so much, right? Okay, who can read this one real quick? Carson.
Sorry, I'm just gonna go off on a list here. I'm probably not gonna.
Well, and then do the Latin first, please, and also I am gonna start giving detention warnings because y'all are kind of off to a rough start today. So remember, you have one warning, and then it'll be detention. You'll hang out with me on Thursday. Go ahead, Carson.
Okay. Si vitam perpetuam huic dabis. E semper laudato.
Okay, good. So it looks like we kind of have 2 chunks. You've sort of seen sentences like this before, where what does "see" mean anyone out loud? Yeah, so it's like it's gonna be something like just in terms of what I'm predicting, it's gonna be like something like if blah 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 happens, then blah 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 happens, right? We don't necessarily have then. I don't see the word to. But see, Vitam Perpetuum Huic da Bis. Carson, you want to take a crack at that first half, and then we'll break it down.
Okay. Hold on. If you give this man perpetual life, I will praise you.
If you give this man perpetual life, I will praise you. Okay, you just want to do the whole dang thing. Very good. What is the verb in the first half of the sentence, Ava or David? Ava. Shh. Chill out. Don't have to loudly react to bizarre jokes that don't make any sense. You're not allowed to. Huh? The verb in the first half. Da bis. I think a lot of people don't recognize this verb because its stem is literally just the letter D. This is from do dare, which Ava David, what conjugation is do dare, which means to give, in case you're writing that down? Yes, it's just go to first conjugation. Yeah. It's one of the ones we got in chapter 1. Most of those are first conjugation. So we got like a smattering of second, like salwayri, terayri, walayri. That might have been it. So, like dos would be you give, but this is da bis. So it's what tense, Kaylin? Like dos would just be present tense you give, but this is feature. Yeah. And I talked about this before, but you probably don't actually want to put the will in there. It just sounds a bit clunky. It's not really wrong, but if you will give perpetual life, just say if you give, you know? In English, sometimes the present tense can actually basically sound just like the future tense, like the way it sounds to us without us using a future tense-centric helping verb. All right, so case of vitam perpetuum. They should clearly go together. Macy or John. John Wayne Gacy. Don't Google that name. You don't even want to know. What case are vitam perpetuum? Mace. Good, okay? Because that's what we're giving. If you will give the direct object. And then, oh wait, did Carson even Hewitt? What did you say for Hewitt?
This man.
Oh my God. Yeah, very good. What case is Hewitt anyone? Buick. Buick. If I give a direct object Buick to a blank, that blank is a indirect object. It's dative. So that's dative, right? I shouldn't say right like everyone knows that. I know this is super tiny. It's a little small probably. But those are, all the Hikkaikai is up there. So glancing up, Buick, if you're able to see it, you have like 30/20 vision. Buick is actually the dative singular for all three genders. So it could be to her in other contexts, but obviously here we're talking about the boyfriend Tithonus. So it's going to to him. And we don't even, we could get around using the to. In what way, Carson? How could we get around even using the preposition to? It's a tricky question. But there's a simple answer actually. So we could just say like if you will give, this might be what you said, you will give him lasting life. So him is okay, but I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, I like this man better. Him is okay, but I'm kind of surprised I did that. I do like this man better. Sorry. But yeah, remember you can always put the indirect object between the verb and the direct object. Like I throw Jimmy the ball, right? That whole shit. So this man is better. Him's aight, but like let's be more kind of like handle Hikkaikai in a specific way. Either this or these men, woman, or women, right? All right, then what? Then what person is laudabo, Nelius? First, second, or third? Or Grace? Think of OST, must, tis, in. Yeah, so the subject switches over from you, right? Second person, like if you, blah, 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 if you were the subject of this part of the sentence, then I, right? I'm going to let you answer that. And what tense is it, Grace or Nelius? Bo, not just laudo, lauda, bo.
Future.
Yes, that's our good old first and second conjugation style future tense. I missed that thing. on this bogus bit. So I will praise you always. Okay. I should have made this. Oh, okay. I think I do it on the next slide. What case is today? A noun chart won't help you because pronouns are wacky. But what case would it have to be? Like, I'll always praise you. Like, what would that be in a sentence in terms of its function or case? Really? Really good. Awesome. Yeah. It is. Oh, and I did do it. So, yeah, that would be an accusative direct object. Just remember, it's like, it is a kind of annoying thing about Latin, is that you can know your case settings really well, but because pronouns kind of have their own weird side case, it's not going to help with pronouns necessarily. Like, if y'all kind of glance at some of these pronouns, in some places, a lot of the accusatives have things that do map onto first and second conj. Next week, when we get to chapter 11, that'll be the case for words like him, her, it. Like you will see first and second conjuncts, the declension endings. But a lot of the pronoun endings are just like totally unique to the pronoun and don't really map onto normal noun endings. Who can read this sentence? Mr. Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler of the X-Men. Like we days. Yeah, it's kind of getting cropped out almost. Okay, what's the sub? Well, what's these first two words? Anyone? You gotta say them out loud.
Foolish Aurora.
Foolish Aurora. This has happened before with like when Apollo's son Phaethon was about to get himself straight up, destroyed on his father's chariot. The narrator took over and was like, "Foolish Phaethon, you know not what you do." And that actually, as silly as it sounds, it's kind of accurate in terms of that happens a lot in Homeric poetry, where like the narrator of the poem will kind of address somebody and be like, "Poor Achilles, you struggle against the bull-headed Agamemnon, and yet he will not yield." All right, so okay, so Foolish Aurora. What case is anyone? What would that be? Yeah, good, evocative. And then we have Magnum Periculum, Ilias, Doni, non-vide. So there's kind of, well, Ilias is the only thing really that's going to, let's pretend Ilias isn't there for a second, and this should actually be a super straightforward sentence. Richard, where's our verb in this, like, the actual sentence, not the first little vocative bit? Good, yeah, it's right at the end. And what person is it? Not third, O-S-T. Yeah. Remember, guys, it's very early in the morning for Latin. So if it's second person, Laura, what subject do we use? I, you, or it? So it is singular. Singular. I, you, or it. It's second person. Yeah, good. So yeah, remember, try to be able to do that sequence of endings with the numbers, with the pronouns. 1, 2, 3, O-S-T, I, you, it. Some red marker, I think. And then hopefully you can do that on the plural side as well. Must, his, int, 1, 2, 3, plural, we, all, them. So anyway, you, non-we days. How to actually translate that, Miss Fisher? Like non-we days. You, what does video mean? Think of video. What do you do with videos? Do you eat them with your ears or with your blank balls? Yes. Okay. So, you what? Non-vides. Yeah, we probably need to use do, which sometimes is a little tricky, right? To like negate a verb. The non sometimes is not just not. You need to like throw in a do or even a does sometimes. So you do not see what? What's your direct object? Is Gavin Barron's his favorite word?
Oh, danger!
Yes. You do not see, and what kind of danger?
Bad.
Not bad, not malum periculum, but yeah, magnum periculum, so great danger. You do not see the great danger. I'll click through in a second. And then Ilias. What do we do with Ilias? What case is Ilias? Use your 30/20 vision that hopefully you all have, or if you're an Android and you have modified vision. So everybody have glasses. I was always jealous of kids who had glasses when I was a student. I don't know why. I forced my mom to take me to get like eye tests in the 4th grade because I was like, "More glasses." And then I also wanted braces for a little while. And, like eventually, I wanted braces before I like definitely had to get them. Being a kid's weird. You just like want random.
Then I figured out there was a way to get glasses, but
Wow, well, just staring at the sun. Don't do it.
No.
What?
I almost hit myself in the eye with the metal.
I remember. Oh, that's bad. I remember a friend once being like, "Oh, like you want glasses? I wanted them too." I just had to like hold my eyes open under like water for a long time until I got there. I was like, "Oh, okay, cool," because like he like understood it, but it probably isn't why he had glasses. He probably actually was born needing glasses, but he like in his mind he thought that he had like brought it upon himself because he wanted them. I don't know. It's just like when you're, and this is like really little, younger than y'all. Sarai? Maddie.
Until they told me I had to.
Until what?
I said I really didn't want braces until they told me I had to get them, and that's
Yeah, sometimes it's like, yeah, as soon as you find out you're like having to wait for something you're not getting it at the moment, you're like, that's when you want it actually. Kaylin?
When I was little, like
First warning for just the corner in general, not Richard, he seems fine. But for you two, first warning. Yes, Kaylin?
when I was little, like 8,
Not messing around.
all three of my sisters, including me, had glasses, and my other sister doesn't have glasses anymore, but she does have to do eye exercise.
Eye exercise are interesting. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, it runs in the family, obviously. I think part of it is like, it's almost like another accessory to have. And people wear glasses that you're not, it's not up to you unless you wear contacts, but you have to like choose to make, not a fashion statement, but you know, there's different styles of frames. And like, that's something that us glassless people, glassesless people don't get to, you don't even get to choose. So I'm really jelly. Okay, you do not see the great danger. What case is Ilias, guys? Braces stunk. I hated braces. Carson says genitive. What do you think, Ilias? Good. So how can we translate it?
You do not see the
Of,
great dangers of this man.
Good. So not this man, but yeah, that man. Good. Great danger. Oh, not man. I'm sorry. So yeah. Okay, this is crazy. If Donnie wasn't here, it would be of that man, because we'd be like of that. Oh well, we can just add man, even though technically Ilias over here, guys, is the genitive of all three genders. But we don't need man or woman. Because Donnie is actually genitive too. It doesn't look like it. I almost forgot Donnie was there. But yeah, we're not talking about a man anymore. We're talking about the gift that Aurora is asking to be given to Tithonus. So what does this mean? Has anybody ever read The Monkey's Paw? The creepy little short story. What is the moral, the very kind of common moral of that story? Huh? What's the moral? Be careful what you wish for. Monkey paw is like this creepy, I forget exactly what happens, but these people get this like magical monkey paw and they start like being able to wish for things, but everything they wish for, they think it's gonna be something good that happens, but then it's like something really bad happens until the end is like really messed up or something. Soraya?
What?
Interesting. Oh, okay. At first I was like, how is that relevant? I was like, okay, I just said monkey's paw like 3 times. So chimpanzees, yeah. I was like, no, yeah, okay, don't try to keep chimps as pets, guys. It doesn't. It might work out for years, and then something will happen and the monkey will murder you. Okay. So guys, check it out. This is like good old second declension genitive, and this is nasty McWeirdo pronoun genitive. This IUS shows up for like basically all the singular genitives for like a lot of these, right? It shows up for Ilias, for Helius, and then it shows up for AS. That's a lot as far as I'm concerned. Great. All right, guys, let's do a couple more. One class got that far? Oh no. Oh no.
Wait, McWeirdo could be a
The McWeirdo meal. Who can read this sentence? Aiden. See, he just showed up. He put on his cool sunglasses, no glasses. Go ahead, sorry.
That's not finished.
The nice skit, yeah. I get more and more tired of the W sounding V in Latin. I honestly think one year I will decide, like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it a hard regular V. Because yeah, this would be like here I would like need a little bit of the V sound, like leave it, because like weave it. It just sounds too weird. Maybe that is what Roman said, but it sounds wacky to me. All right, guys. Senescent is a word we don't have. You can add it to your Senesco Senescera. I believe it's third. Yeah. Oh, immortality. Yeah, that one's easy for sure. Sam, the first morning. So, let's see. If you are one of those people who like so far you don't have any words because you happen to be really good at learning vocab somehow, then something like immortalitum and even Senescent, if you wanted to add those, you could. Immortalitatis, as you see there, is third declension for immortality. Sorry, not immortal. Or is it immortal? Yeah, it's immortality. Sorry, I'll fix that. Immortality. It's like the concept of it, not a person who is immortal. Is third conjugation, and it means to grow old. So
is it a bird?
it is a verb, right? To grow old. So just only for people who are like so far not having many words on their feet yet, like John, who did you start a new one, or you just kind of checked out today? That's not okay at all. Not good. So okay, this one, something's crazy happening here. Do means while. That is a conjunction meaning while. I bet a lot of people need to add that because like I don't know, I feel like I would even forget that. Tomb is then, doom is what? But what is this subject here? It's in a wacky spot. Quite a wacky spot. Nathan, Jake, or Maddie Dugan, what do you think this subject is? If you don't think about like where you'd want it to be, it's not too hard. Be very open-minded, right? Think of the craziness of Latin syntax. The openness of the word order. It's third, yeah. And then immortality. I guess I can do it real quick. Let's see, not sure. 3 people I called. Ava? Yeah, it is. Immortality. So I didn't put his name up here. It showed up on the first slide for the first sentence. But like, isn't that crazy? He's behind the verb. When nothing else is nominative. What case is immortalitum? If it is the declension, what case might it be, Miss Pendar? You said? Good. Yeah. So it looks like maybe our first word is a direct object. Tithono, that's not his subject form. What case is Tithono? Because his subject form is just Tithonos. The way we say his name just normally in English is nominative. Ava? Good. Whoa, okay. Yeah. Because that long O, it means it could be dative or ablative again. Either side, so they can both be higher up. Or this one here. But yeah, long O is ablative or dative. And usually when something's ablative or dative, it ends up being ablative. Ablative is like way more common. But maybe, yeah, what? Yeah, she's saying do dare. We're saying do dare for like a second time in a row. So do dare means to give, and if you're saying that somebody's giving something, there's probably an indirect object involved. So like something about immortality being given to Tithonus, by who, and like who can put it all together now? Again, it's just like you gotta free your mind of the expectations of word order for Latin to really start to feel comfortable. And this is a perfect example of that. Carson?
Jupiter gives immortality to Typhon.
Good, yes. And I think Ava had glossed it to the point where she could was ready to do that too. Yeah, Jupiter gives immortality to Tithonus. So eyes up here, I mean, look, this is kind of crazy, right? Jupiter gives immortality to Tithonus. It's actually not weird for Latin at all, but it's still weird for us English speakers who are new to language. All right, then what? Say it again. Oh yes, but like I think it was like the narrator who sang was foolish. Like I guess Jupiter like doesn't even care. He's like, well, this is a bad idea, but like I'll do it. Does anybody have an idea why it's a bad idea? I almost don't want to spoil it, but I don't know if I confirm or deny. Caitlin? Okay, just like okay, Jason.
He's gonna trade over immortality for his.
That would make sense. That like you can't just give someone immortality. It has to come from somewhere. Matter cannot be created or destroyed. Everything is like in existence forever. And turns into like atoms and just like recycles and stuff like that. So maybe immortality works that way too. But said is but a conjunction. I assume everyone kind of knows that maybe. But what illa? That's not too hard. Danny, what do you think illa is here? It's all by itself. It doesn't have a nominative, buddy, but it is just nominative, and it is masculine. Caden, Aiden. Illa. Nathan Sarai. What is illa? Jake, Kylie. What is that? Okay. Well, what if I just like kept calling you? That, but not just that. Anyone? Yeah, maybe that man. That's a good place where like we go. But that man, Doom Vivit, Viva Vibra. I should put up. I'm writing on the board. Sorry, internet kids. Means what? To anyone at all. Very good. Yes, to live. So vita vitae is life. Vivo vivra is to live. So while what? While vivet, senescit. Interesting. Is it cold?
It's freezing.
Freezing if it's cold. All right. I'm glad not everyone is cold. You know, I feel like I was dying. Yeah, you know, like, ooh, Nathan, man, like, I almost want to like do something about it. Like, it's disgusting, and I don't know if it was Crohn's or yours too, but obviously the paper is good. The heater is on. I just turned it up a little bit. Guys, please don't treat classrooms. First warning for you, Nathan. Don't treat classrooms like, I don't even know, you don't even treat your living room that way, right? These are like real spaces that a lot of people have to use throughout the day. It's not that funny at all. It's not fun. 5 other classes have to come in here. It's like a little demoralizing to see like gross stuff. Right now, get started right now and stop doing whatever you're doing. Okay? Cool. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So who can translate for yours? Carson.
But this man, while living, grows old.
Remember that man. Yeah. While living's pretty good, or while he lives, he grows old. So Illa there. I guess I'm just putting this up to show you guys. It was that guy. This one's really distinct. It doesn't show up anywhere else. It has the E ending. That's nominative singular. It's going to be just that, or maybe that man, if it needs a buddy word, and it doesn't have one in Latin. So, but that man, while he lives, he grows old. Senesco, senescera. Senesco, it is third conjugation. I think there's a technically future tense, like he will grow old, but since it's not a verb we actually have, it's not a huge deal. Yeah, I believe it is third conj, meaning that E would make it future. Jake?
Is it saying like he's gonna live forever, but like he's still gonna age?
Right, yeah, I think that's what it's saying, which is kind of unclear. But it's almost like, in a lot of these like monkey paw type stories where be careful what you wish for is like the big lesson. And sometimes has to do with just like the person failing to have good wording. Like if she had said, make him stay young forever, that would have been one thing. But just saying give him immortality while he technically remains a human means this dude's just gonna kind of shrivel up forever. Okay, so let's see. Tempus fugit. I think we've seen Tempus fugit before. Good. Yeah, time flies. I like flies for this. Technically, fugio fugira is going to be to flee. It is third conjugation. We get words like fugitive from it. But, you know, I don't think we say time flees in English, really. So let's say time flies. Now, Aurora. What kind of Aurora? Bella Aurora. It sounds like we're talking about 2 Disney princesses. Beautiful Aurora. Or let's see. How does this... So something about Aurora is beautiful, but Tithon is non-Bellis est. So how do we put that all together? It almost seems like Aurora needs the verb back here. Huh? Tithonus is not beautiful, but Aurora is. So yeah, even though this looks like it's just going to be beautiful Aurora, that won't work. So we need to use S like twice here. See, now I'm about to get hot. Y'all kind of crazy. But I guess, anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm running hot today. So Aurora is beautiful. Tithonus is not. That's like kind of deceptively evil not evil, difficult. Guys, I have a question. When people say deceptively, I think that's the most misused adverb of all time. If someone says, for instance, and I truly don't know the answer to this, something is deceptively simple, does that mean A, that it seems like it's going to be hard, but then it's simple, or that it seems like it's going to be easy, but then it's hard? You don't know what this like being like deceptive or deception means. You're kind of like tricking someone, or you think the first one? So say it again because I lost track. If it's only deceptively simple, that means it is easy, or it's
hard, and then it turns out to be.
so it's deceptively simple. So it's deceiving you that it's simple, but it's not.
Yeah.
All right. It feels like a bad use of an adverb, and people use it all the time, including me. And I thought of this recently. I was like, I need to get to the bottom of that. I'm gonna Google it later, and then I'll tell you guys tomorrow. All right. Tithonus is not beautiful. Now Aurora is. So yeah. Again, the trick here is that you do actually have to use this S twice, or else it wouldn't come together. You can't say now Aurora beautiful. Tithonus is not. You need to S twice. Got it? Nothing is colored here because we just have subjects and verbs basically. Non is technically an adverb and Bells is an adjective, I guess. But we don't have any nouns that are in another case beyond the nominative. Miss Moriarty. Huh? No, because did you miss the last? He's getting all pruny. He's getting all raisining, right? Yeah. Well, did you kind of miss that? They were like, while he lives, he will grow old. He's not gonna die. So it's like he's gonna get to his like 90s and past like a normal human, and he's just gonna keep going. He's never gonna like pass away peacefully and sleep or something. He's just gonna be like 130, and like imagine what. It sounds mean, but like imagine what like a 150-year-old would look like. Like it'd be impressive, like oh my gosh, you're alive, but like it's probably start to get a little gnarly. Hey, y'all have thoughts on this? Raise your hand so you can share them with the class because it's getting hot here because Miss Fisher made me do that, and also I can't hear you, Jake.
So like maybe he can just like go to the Guinness World Record and like, hey, can I be the oldest man to ever live? We're like, how old are you? 500.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I was gonna say the Guinness World Record thing wasn't around yet, but you would have lived. Like you should still be alive now. But let's see if they give us a real ending. Corpus. We haven't seen corpus too much.
That means body.
Body. Good, like corpse. Corpus, and we have some words that we don't. They're not vocab words. Again, you can add them if you want. I will say sometimes we see gloss words in these stories that actually do eventually come up in the textbook. I don't think rugosus, that means wrinkled, and curvus, meaning curve, is really going to come up. But you can write it if you're really hurting for words. But remember, we have tomorrow to do words too, and I might give y'all Tuesday as well, since this is a wacky week.
Do you think at one point that his body is going to start to decompose even though he's still alive? Yes. At one point, he will literally be a pile of bones. He can't talk because he doesn't have voice cords.
I feel like he'll still like technically be alive no matter what. The magic is that no matter what, he won't die, but like his body is going to still age. So there is a conclusion, right? They're going to kind of answer this for us. First warning from Miss Dugan: if Alora walks up to anybody and distracts them again, that'll be detention. So let's see. Eon. Y'all get Eon this chapter?
I don't know.
Because that is, if not, it is a word that shows up pretty soon. It just means kind of like now or already. So it's kind of like nunk, but sometimes it's more like already. But let's just say, huh? It is, yeah. It's a conjunction. It does not have a related word. A lot of the words y'all are going to put in the bottom column, like beyond, do not have related words. So do I put a related word section for that section? Conjunction. Conjunction. Don't get conjunction mixed up with conjugation. Conjunctions are words like and, if, but. That's all I can do. Alright. So who can translate this? Remember Vallejo means to be well. Strong, Devin or John or Kaylin. Or Kylie. Kylan, Kaylee. Either way. Who wants to take a crack at this? Something about the body. What about the body?
His body.
What's wrong with Yeah, and here we actually don't need to use is. We can just say like the wrinkled and what? What body? The wrinkled and curved body. Now what? Non-Valette.
Now the
Not now,
No,
strong.
Now is not strong. Yeah, Vallejo, Valeri, and Salveo are weird because they're kind of like two. Like it means to be well or to be strong. In this case, strong is probably pretty good. But it's like you need to like to translate it. You have to use a helping verb, even in just like normal present tense. When normally we don't have to use a helping verb. Yes. The winkled. Yes, winkled is actually an alternate spelling of wrinkled. I think it sounds cool, so I'm gonna leave it. The winkled and curved body now is not strong.
What's that picture on the side of
That's for what's his face. That's Tithonus here. He's just an old man. This is a picture I had to. I'm sorry, I had to cut out for Aurora because per usual she's not wearing clothes. So, but here is old man Tithonus. It's kind of a sweet picture. There's kind of a tragedy to it where it's like she still looks like a normal like ageless goddess, right? Gods and goddesses, they're either like stuck at middle age, like the older Olympians, or they're like stuck in their like early 20s, like Apollo and Diana and Bacchus and Mercury, and Cupid's kind of stuck as a baby or sometimes like a kid. But poor Tithonus here, I mean, here he just looks like a normal old man. It's not really like shocking. He's not like nasty and wrinkly. He's just kind of a normal old dude, but she still looks like she is living her best life at 30. All right, Jake.
you have like red mouth on it, so it looks like you just get kind of
Yeah, no, an outline's not always gonna communicate necessarily accurately. Huh? This is only when I googled Tithonus, only a couple came up. She was almost always naked, and he was just like looking like an old dude. Huh? I don't know. I have a long story for that. My first year, that kind of was my thinking is like, don't draw attention to it. Like it's not a big deal. Kids are mature. Like this is nothing you wouldn't see in a fine art museum. But I remember one kid's parents tried to give me fired. So the wrinkle and curved butt. So sometimes you just gotta like, because one family is like, nah, it's like don't do that. And I don't know. I don't want to feel anyway. It's a slightly complicated thing. And when you're in college, that stops being an issue altogether because it's just like we're all yes. Okay. So the wrinkled and curved body now is not strong. Sapientia, anyone out loud? Wisdom in animo non mones. I shouldn't even point it out. Maybe he's not making it. I made that up, guys. Fine, everything's fine. So the wisdom, we haven't seen Maneo in a while. No? Yeah, but it's non-minute. Not will. What's the helping verb we had to bust out last time we had a non? Starts with a D. Do. Yeah, so like wisdom, or not do, we don't say wisdom do not, but wisdom does not remain in animo. In the mind, indeed in the mind. Because she's totally normal. She's normal and she's wearing clothes. Okay.
That's an amazing drawing.
Nice drawing. Here's the next famous artist. It's Da Vinci the second.
Look, and he's actually standing on his arm. Okay, so she does not from there. Any questions on this one? Any words here that people want me to kind of fully gloss? Okay. Oh, what case was animo? Devin, Richard, or Grace? Kaylin knows it.
What is it? Ablative?
It is ablative. Animo is ablative here. So it could be ablative or native, but I don't see Dotari around, so we're probably not taking it into a spirit of some here. So it is ablative in the mind or spirit. So I kind of hate that. It'd be one thing if like his body kind of withered a little bit, but maybe if his mind stayed the same. But like, even apparently his mind is kind of going into atrophy, and so it's like his immortality doesn't grant him anything. He's just there. He'd probably be better off as a shade or a spirit in Elysian fields.
A shade?
Yeah, that's a word for ghost.
Yes, I know.
Well, then why'd you ask it with disbelief? Who can read this? Is it the last chunk or the second last?
There's 3 more chunks.
3 more chunks. Who can read these 2 chunks? Y'all are a little nasty today. yesterday morning, I was like, y'all are one of like my really well behaved bosses. And now y'all are kind of annoying. So tomorrow we'll be moving people like Caitlin and or Maddie Dugan and Sam and Laura as well. And then I don't know why I've let Grace and Maddie Fisher sit, but y'all have been actually pretty decent today. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. All right. Quid, Aurora, because y'all have been actually fine today. Quid, Aurora, Paquette, can you on this morning off, Danny? And Nathan and or Dugan, there's still a weird amount of paper and crumbs under both y'all's desks. So sort it out before y'all leave. Sorry. So like what? And then Fakya Fakra is going to mean do or act. It is a new verb. It's third conjugation. It's often synonymous with ago. Ago doesn't really mean make. Fakya does mean make, but here honestly, I think Fakya is going to be do. So they could have used ago. So what do we think? What tense is Fakya? This is probably the last thing we do. Garth, what tense is it?
Probably.
Very good. So what, and then a helping verb. What, remember Zelda kid? What will Aurora, huh? What will Aurora do? What will Aurora do? Because make what it makes sense here. Pateritne formam tithono restituera. Who can spot, so this means to restore. Formam is either going to be form or beauty. Who can do? Pateritne is kind of crazy, but it would be easier. Final warning for paper. Shut up, guys. Don't make me like actually pull a trigger and make an example. All right, guys. Tomorrow, homework. All right. Well, homework due tomorrow. Okay? Yeah, it's like will she be able? All right, bye, internet people. Sorry for the slightly rowdy class.